Secret love stories. Love is a force capable of changing the course of history. Great leaders and monarchs were no exception. Their secret romances often had a significant impact on political events and social changes. In this article, we will tell you about the most famous and captivating love stories that have left their mark on history. Welcome to the Artifacts of Mystery channel. Let's go. Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. The love story between Cleopatra and Julius Caesar is one of the most famous and dramatic romantic tales of antiquity. This romance united two powerful and charismatic leaders, each striving to increase their power and influence. Their relationship not only influenced the politics of their time, but also left an indelible mark on history and culture. In the year 48 before Common Era, Julius Caesar arrived in Egypt, pursuing his rival Pompey, who was soon killed by the Egyptians. At that time, Cleopatra was in a complex political situation, fighting for the throne against her brother Ptolemy XIII. Realizing the need for an ally, Cleopatra decided to meet with Caesar to gain his support. Legend has it that Cleopatra managed to sneak into Caesar's presence by wrapping herself in a carpet delivered to his chambers. Enchanted by her beauty and intelligence, Caesar sided with her in the struggle for the Egyptian throne. This meeting marked the beginning of their romantic and political relationship. Caesar helped Cleopatra regain the throne by defeating the army of Ptolemy XIII in the Battle of the Nile. Cleopatra was restored as queen, and she and Caesar became lovers. In 47 before Common Era, they had a son, whom Cleopatra named Caesarion, meaning Little Caesar. Caesar spent some time in Egypt with Cleopatra, enjoying her company and the splendor of her court. Their union was beneficial to both. Cleopatra strengthened her power, and Caesar gained the support and wealth of Egypt, which aided him in his political and military campaigns. In 46 before Common Era, Cleopatra came to Rome with Caesarion to live in Caesar's residence. This caused a scandal in Roman society, where his relationship with a foreign queen and their shared son was not approved. Despite this, Cleopatra was admired and respected for her beauty, intellect, and political acumen. On March 15, 44 before Common Era, Julius Caesar was assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. His death left Cleopatra in a difficult situation. Losing her powerful protector, she returned to Egypt, continuing to fight for her independence and the safety of her son. The romance between Cleopatra and Caesar had a significant impact on history. Their relationship not only strengthened Cleopatra's rule in Egypt, but also influenced political processes in Rome. Caesar's death and the subsequent events, including the power struggle between Mark Antony and Octavian, led to the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Napoleon Bonaparte and Joséphine. Napoleon Bonaparte and Joséphine de Beauharnais' love story is one of passion, ambition, loyalty, and disappointment. Their romance began amidst political upheavals and wars and continued over many years despite numerous trials and betrayals. Joséphine, 7 years older than Napoleon, was already a mother of 2 children from her first husband, Alexander de Beauharnais, who was executed during the Terror. She was a beautiful and charming woman, renowned for her social connections. Napoleon first met Joséphine in 1795 when he was still a young and ambitious general. Soon after their meeting, he fell madly in love with her, calling her his blessed angel. Napoleon and Joséphine married on March 9, 1796. At that time, Napoleon was preparing for his Italian campaign, and their wedding was a modest ceremony. Despite his love for Joséphine, Napoleon often left for wars, creating tension in their relationship. Despite her attachment to Napoleon, Joséphine did not immediately believe in his grand ambitions. She was inclined to a socialite life and had many admirers. Early in their marriage, Joséphine was unfaithful to Napoleon, which caused numerous scandals and rumors. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of France, and Joséphine became Empress. The coronation ceremony at the Notre Dame Cathedral was the peak of their joint grandeur. Napoleon placed the crown on Joséphine's head, showing the world his love and trust for her. However, their marriage remained childless, and Napoleon became increasingly concerned about an heir. Joséphine could not bear a child, which became a serious problem for the emperor, who aimed to secure the future of his dynasty. After many years of marriage and despite deep attachment, Napoleon decided to divorce Joséphine in 1810. This decision was not due to lack of love, but for political purposes and the need to continue his line. The divorce was formalized, and soon after, Napoleon married Austrian Archduchess Marie-Louise, who bore him the long-awaited heir. Joséphine, although deeply saddened by the divorce, retained respect and affection for Napoleon. She continued to live in her castle of Malmaison, surrounded by luxury and devoted servants. After Napoleon's fall and exile to the island of St. Helena, Joséphine remained faithful to her former husband despite the separation. She died on May 29, 1814, without living to see his return from exile. The romance of Napoleon and Joséphine remains one of the most touching and dramatic love stories in history. Their relationship was full of passion, ambitions, and personal tragedies, reflecting the complexity of human emotions and political ambitions. Napoleon always cherished memories of Joséphine, calling her his only true love. Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. The romance between Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn became one of the most famous and dramatic events in English history, leading to the break with the Roman Catholic Church and the establishment of the Anglican Church. Their relationship was filled with intrigue, passion, and tragedy, fundamentally altering the political and religious landscape of England. Anne Boleyn, the daughter of Sir Thomas Boleyn and Lady Elizabeth Howard, returned from France in 1522 to become a lady-in-waiting to Catherine of Aragon, Henry's first wife, and was educated, charismatic, and attractive, immediately capturing the king's attention. At the time, Henry had been married to Catherine for over 20 years, but lacked a male heir. Henry was enamored with Anne and began actively pursuing her, but she refused to become his mistress, as her sister Mary Boleyn had done, and wanted more. She desired marriage and the crown. Henry VIII was determined to divorce Catherine to marry Anne. However, Pope Clement VII refused to annul the king's marriage, leading to a serious conflict between England and the papacy. For the sake of his love for Anne and his desire for a male heir, Henry initiated radical reforms that culminated in the break with the Roman Catholic Church. In 1533, the Act of Supremacy declared the king the supreme head of the Church of England, and later that year, his marriage to Catherine was annulled by the Archbishop of Canterbury. On January 25, 1533, Henry secretly married Anne Boleyn, who was soon crowned Queen of England. Anne Boleyn gave birth to Henry's daughter, the future Queen Elizabeth I, in September 1533. However, Henry still hoped for a son. In the following years, Anne suffered several miscarriages, weakening her position at court. Gradually, Henry's and Anne's relationship deteriorated. By then, Henry had become infatuated with Jane Seymour, one of Anne's ladies-in-waiting. In 1536, Anne was arrested on charges of adultery, incest, and witchcraft. Many believe these charges were fabricated to remove her and allow Henry to enter into a new marriage, and was tried and found guilty. On May 19, 1536, she was executed on Tower Hill. Her death was swift and painless, thanks to the French swordsman specially brought in to carry out the sentence. The story of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn left a profound impact on English history. Their romance and the ensuing events led to the establishment of the Anglican Church and the beginning of the English Reformation. Despite her tragic fate, Anne Boleyn gave birth to one of England's greatest queens, Elizabeth I, who strengthened England as a leading global power. John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe. The romance between John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe is one of the most mysterious and discussed love stories of the 20th century. Their connection is shrouded in secrecy, rumors, and speculation, which only adds to its allure. While there is little documentary evidence of their relationship, indirect testimonies and contemporaries' memories paint a picture of a turbulent and passionate romance. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, was known for his charm and numerous love affairs. Marilyn Monroe, the most famous movie star of her time, epitomized Hollywood glamour and sensuality. Their paths crossed in the early 1960s, when Kennedy was already president. It is believed that their first meeting took place at a private party hosted by Peter Lawford, an actor and Kennedy's brother-in-law, at Patricia's sister. John and Marilyn's meetings were shrouded in secrecy. They met at various locations, including the apartment of actor and singer Bing Crosby in Palm Springs, where, according to rumors, they had several romantic encounters. Aware that such relationships could damage his political career, Kennedy carefully concealed his meetings with Monroe. The culmination of their public relations was Marilyn Monroe's famous performance at President Kennedy's birthday celebration on May 19, 1962, at Madison Square Garden. In a sparkling, form-fitting dress by designer Jean Lewis, Monroe performed the seductive "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," which sparked a storm of emotions and rumors. This performance became a symbol of their secret romance and one of the most iconic moments in showbiz history. After the relationship became too risky for his political career, Kennedy stopped seeing Marilyn. Soon after, she began dating his brother, Robert Kennedy, which also spawned many rumors and speculations. On the night of August 4th to 5th, 1962, Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home. The official version was suicide, but various theories still exist claiming that her death was related to her relationship with Kennedy. The love story of John Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe remains one of the most romanticized and mythologized in history. It intertwines elements of Hollywood glamour, political intrigue, and tragedy. Their romance has inspired numerous books, films, and documentaries. Despite the lack of precise evidence, this story continues to captivate the imagination of people around the world. Elizabeth I and Robert Dudley. The romantic connection between Elizabeth I, Queen of England, and Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, remains one of the most mysterious and discussed stories of the 16th century. Their relationship was filled with passion, intrigue, and political ambitions, making their bond one of the most vivid and influential in English history. Elizabeth and Robert Dudley knew each other from childhood. They were raised together at court and became close friends. Dudley was the son of John Dudley, Duke of Northumberland, an influential political figure. Their friendship strengthened when both were imprisoned in the Tower of London in 1554, accused of conspiring against Queen Mary I, Elizabeth's older sister. Upon their release, they became even closer. When Elizabeth ascended the throne in 1558, she made Dudley her chief favorite and granted him the title of Earl of Leicester. Their close relationship sparked many rumors and gossip about them being lovers. Elizabeth and Dudley's relationship became a subject of political intrigue and diplomatic maneuvers. The Queen repeatedly considered marrying Dudley despite his marriage to Amy Robsart. In 1560, Amy was found dead under mysterious circumstances, which led to rumors of Dudley and even Elizabeth's involvement in her death. However, the investigation found no evidence of Dudley's guilt, and his reputation was restored. Despite her closeness to Dudley, Elizabeth was aware of the political risks of marrying him. She used her indecision on the matter as a political tool to maintain independence and flexibility in international politics. The Queen's potential marriage was discussed with various foreign princes, but Elizabeth never married, leaving herself the Virgin Queen. Dudley had significant influence on the Queen and England's political decisions. He was an active participant in military campaigns and diplomatic missions. In 1585, when war with Spain began, Dudley was appointed commander of the English forces in the Netherlands. Although his military campaign was unsuccessful, his influence on Elizabeth remained strong. By the end of Elizabeth's reign, her relationship with Dudley became less intense, though they remained close friends. In 1578, Dudley married Lettice Knowles, which caused jealousy in the Queen, but their friendship endured. Robert Dudley died on September 4, 1588. His death was a great blow to Elizabeth, and she kept the last letter he wrote to her until the end of her life, calling it "the last letter of my dear Robin." The romance between Elizabeth I and Robert Dudley left a profound mark on English history. Their relationship became a symbol of complex political and personal intrigues. Despite the rumors and gossip, Elizabeth never married, maintaining her independence and strengthening England's status as a powerful nation. Their story has inspired numerous literary works, films, and television series, highlighting the drama and mystery of their connection.